Wow, that was quick. We're live. This seems
We are.
weird with you over
It is
there
weird.
and me over here. Seems weird.
It's very weird.
But that's okay. You can take the pole position tonight.
Mm.
You want to take the reins of the show?
I don't.
I didn't figure you did.
Nah, you got it. You got it handled.
Anyhow. It's June 5th, 2023. And these are your Fortean Files. Oh, you know what I forgot to do tonight, Katie? Because I am a piece of shit. The Dunn family PayPal account. We are still looking for donations to the Dunn family. You can send those to dreadfun at outlook.com. That's DREDFUNN at outlook.com. Been in constant contact with Des. I'm actually sending Fred a head shaver this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's what he wants. In lieu of the cash, basically, that I was going to PayPal to them, I'm going to get him this head shaver that he wants. So, because I guess he doesn't like the way it's coming. His hair's coming back in patchy.
Right. Yeah. It changes things.
Yeah, so he wants to get one of those electric head shavers. Which, hey, power to him. I told him I'd get it for him. So
Whatever the man needs.
yeah. But yeah, we are still looking for donations to the Dunn family for that. You know, of course, Fred has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He's going through treatment for that. I do believe Daz was able to get them into some hospital up there. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but she was kind of pretty excited about that. I didn't get into any detail about that with her. I was more or less, how's he doing? That's my general concern when I talk to her. How's he doing? Is he comfortable? Is he doing okay? Et cetera, et cetera. So, fun stuff. Another fun week. Another fun week for everybody. I did notice that this new thing that you've gotten me fucking watching, this Crime Weekly bullshit, did the first episode of the Lori Vallow
I did.
case.
I haven't watched it yet, but I saw they put it out.
I saw that. Because, Katie, in an attempt to get me to watch the same type of shit that she does, has introduced this Crime Weekly thing to the podcast, which is a podcast. Crime Weekly is a podcast. It's Derek Levasseur and Stephanie Harlow.
Harlow, yeah.
Yeah. And they do this thing where they go over cases and they break it down. They break down the facts of the case and they come to their own conclusion. At the end of the whole thing, we went over the Adnan Syed case, which they had broken down previously. Now we looked into the past few weeks the staircase documentary, and we're going to get into that in the second half of the show. Yeah, the staircase. It's interesting. It's a case with a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of ins, a lot of outs. Much like Lebowski, it's a good thing that I'm keeping my mind limber with a strict regimen of drugs and alcohol to go through this whole thing.
It's a lot.
Yeah, minus the alcohol. I don't really drink, but I do smoke some weed. So, anywho, we did get into that. We both finished both the Netflix Staircase documentary, which is long.
13 episodes.
Very fucking long. Mm-hmm. And we both went through the Crime Weekly podcast, which is 5 episodes long. And we both finished all of that. So we will get into that in the second half of the show. Anything exciting happening in your world this week?
Not really. Just working, living, and enjoying the lake. Doing a lot of yard projects. It's been nice.
Yeah.
Enjoying the outside.
Rat Boy update.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Rat Boy.
The Rat Boy cult. All hail the Rat Boy. You are the Rat Boy cult, Farmer Fred Smith. I don't know what to tell you.
We should be asking you for the Rat Boy update.
How is the shed sermons going? I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't have enough time to start a Rat Boy cult. I do this shit, work a full-time job, and yeah, and a bunch of other shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
life's busy.
Yeah, I don't have time for Rat Boy.
Mm-mm.
God, that would take up way too much of my time. Way too much of my time.
Yeah, I'm out.
If there was a fucking Rat Boy. Oh, I can't. I can't. All hail Rat Boy. Like the things I would have to do on a daily basis to be a devout rat person. I don't know what you'd call yourself if you're in that religion.
What if that thing really was real though?
Rat Boy?
Yeah, that thing was weird looking.
I mean, I'm sure you could find people that believe in it because 2 girls wound up believing in Slender Man.
True.
So, I mean, that's just the way shit happens.
Life takes it
Farmer
there
Fred,
sometimes.
we don't have a Rat Boy update. You can give us one.
Yeah.
My suggestion, get a hold of that fucking thing, nail that son of a bitch to your shed, and start giving sermons. I'm telling you, if you make it, they will come. Field of dreams, motherfucker. Field of dreams.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway, on to our first story of the evening so we can get into this horse shit. I grabbed this one, Katie, because I found this to be very interesting. From the independent.co.uk. Gladys, the killer whale, and her gang of orcas out for revenge in Gibraltar. Dun, dun, dun. British sailors, killer whales could be learning unusual behavior from traumatized matriarch named White Gladys. British sailor's boat was the latest victim in a spate of orca attacks, or spat, on vessels near Gibraltar, as an expert suggested a traumatized killer whale may be inadvertently teaching others to target them. There have been 20 incidents this month alone between the highly social apex predators and small vessels sailing in the Strait of Gibraltar, according to the Atlantic Orca Working Group, with dozens of orca attacks on ships recorded on Spanish and Portuguese coasts this year. In the early hours of Thursday, a group of orcas broke the rudder and pierced the hull of a boat after ramming into the Mustique on its way to Gibraltar, prompting its crew of 4 to contact Spanish authorities for help, a spokesperson for the Maritime Rescue Service said. The service deployed a rapid response vessel and a helicopter carrying a bilge pump to assist the 20-meter vessel, which was sailing under a British flag, a spokesperson for the Maritime Rescue Service said. The Mystique was towed to the port of Barbate, I'm assuming, in the province of Cadiz for repairs. Posting footage of the ordeal on Instagram, British sailor April Boys, age 31, said, "What started off as a seemingly unique encounter ended with orcas breaking off our rudder from the boat, then proceeding to tear bits off the boat for an hour. A huge hole in the hull meant we had water ingress to other parts of the boat and the engine room, and I can honestly say it was a scary experience. We are all safe. I'm feeling grateful for the Coast Guard." Earlier in May, the sailing yacht Alboran Champagne suffered a similar impact from 3 orcas half a nautical mile off Barbate. I don't fucking know how to pronounce that. The boat could not be towed as it was completely flooded and was left adrift to sink. The boat's captain, Werner Schaufelberger, told the German magazine Yacht that he saw the 2 smaller whales imitating the ramming tactic of the larger orca, believed to be a matriarch named White Gladys. The little one shook the rudder at the back while the big one repeatedly backed up and rammed the ship with full force from the side, he said. The 2 little orcas copied the bigger one's technique and with a slight run-up came darting toward the boat, mainly on the rudder, but also the keel. And it goes on and on and on. But I noticed this because I had been noticing like a bunch of different stories about orcas attacking boats.
Yeah, that's
and I found that to be fucking fascinating.
Yeah, and concerning.
Coordinated attacks on boats by orcas. And listen, I'm not saying let's start hunting orcas by any stretch. No. I'm saying, what the fuck?
We need to investigate.
Right.
As human
what
beings.
Is causing this?
So when you sent me that link, I didn't look at it because I knew we were gonna, talk about it. But
Right.
I let my mind for a second kind of like go down the rabbit hole, and maybe I went too far, but I saw something recently too where they've been releasing captive orcas back into the wild. Orcas who have been in captivity for decades and they're letting them go.
Yes.
And, we really don't understand how these things communicate, but we know they do. So what if all of these captive orcas came out here in the ocean and started spreading the word? Like, yo, guess what these bitches did? And now they're wrangling the troops.
Well,
they're fighting back.
Well, they have very sophisticated languages, and
yes,
and while yes, if an orca is released back into the wild, it may not necessarily speak the language of whatever pod it winds up in,
right?
But it can learn it.
Well, the big one here recently that made a lot of news that got released, they made sure to release it back into the waters they caught it from.
Right.
So it had a really good chance of at least encountering, other orcas it could communicate with.
Right.
So,
right. Well, I know they were saying that that some of these orcas and or dolphins can learn like different dialects and actually learn each other's languages.
Mm-hmm. It's so fascinating.
That was a story I did like years ago on the Fortean slip that I remember.
The intelligence of those water mammals are just incredible, really.
Crazy.
And we don't even fully understand their abilities. So
it'll be fucking thousands of years before we understand that.
Right.
And by then they'll be walking on land.
Well, and we're not going to make any progress if they keep tearing up our boats.
Well, yeah.
I'm just going to put a real wrench into things,
They're going to take us down, Katie.
They might. Maybe we shouldn't be so concerned about aliens and we need to look into our oceans.
One boat at a time. One boat at a time. Here's one for just for you, Katie.
All right.
From the Niagara Gazette, niagara-gazette.com. Bigfoot in Indiana. Hoosier says, you bet. Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization member says there's more interest than ever in the hairy Sasquatch. Kokomo. When Leroy Nail first heard Bigfoot reports in Indiana, he was skeptical. Maybe the internationally notorious Sasquatch lived in California or Canada, but here, in his home state? No way, Leroy said. Our woods are not deep enough. We don't have enough forest. There is no way there is a 7 or 8 foot creature out there that nobody has seen. That all changed when he attended his first meeting of the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization over a decade ago. Its founder, Steve Abney, presented evidence that not only is there one hairy forest dweller here, there are thousands. And Abney claimed to have lived with some of them. Well, it didn't take me long to realize, hey, he's telling the truth, Leroy said. Just like that, the Martinsville native was converted from a Sasquatch skeptic to a dyed-in-the-wool believer. Highly intelligent ape-like humanoids roam the Hoosier State, often just out of sight, watching us, Nail said. Today, the state highway technician leads Indiana's Bigfoot Research Group, which has steadily attracted more members over the years. The organization's Facebook page has over 3,000 followers, making it the largest group of its kind in the state. Interest in the mythic creature is only growing, according to Nancy Nail, who is married to Leroy. The two have been invited to give more talks this year at libraries and other venues than ever before, she said. Considering Bigfoot's uncontested place in American pop culture, the interest seems natural. Dozens of TV shows and movies can be found documenting enthusiasts hunting for the beast. Bigfoot bumper stickers abound. One Oklahoma lawmaker in 2021 even proposed a bill creating a Bigfoot hunting season. Even so, it seems more people are willing to actively and seriously believe in the forest dweller's existence than in years past, Nancy explained. I think it's more talked about now than it used to be, she said. More people believe than they used to, or maybe some people are just a little less intimidated to say something than they used to be. During the past 10 years, Leroy and a dedicated group of researchers have responded to calls from people around the state reporting tall, hairy animals near their homes or unearthly screams from the woods. Leroy doesn't take their word for it. Usually within minutes of receiving a call, he's in his truck driving, sometimes for hours, to collect evidence and hear first-hand accounts from those who believe they've encountered the clandestine creature. I want to turn their story into evidence, Leroy said. If we can find something to back that up, then it becomes more than just a story. Some of that evidence was recently on display in Kokomo at the Isaac Walton League Lodge, where the Nails were invited to talk about their experience hunting the legendary forest apes. I am going to cut that one short right there.
Joe actually sent me that article last week.
Did he now?
He did, yeah.
I saw that and I said, Katie.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did too. There's definitely
Katie.
no Bigfoot up where I'm at. I'm in northern Indiana, and
yeah,
there's too many cornfields and not enough woods. But southern Indiana, Kokomo is a little further north than I would probably believe. But
yeah,
southern Indiana is very Kentucky-like, so.
Yeah.
But up here where I'm at, ain't no way you're not convincing me. I wish they were here, but they're not.
Our next story of the evening from WBEZ.org. Huge river monster dinosaur unveiled at Field Museum. I'm not even going to get really into this. I'm just going to tell you what it is. It's a Spinosaurus. They cast it on a 3D printer. This is kind of cool, though. I want to show you the pictures of it. Let me pop.
Where'd they find it at?
Hold on a second. Share. Bum, bum, bum. There it is there. There it is there.
Wow. That's got a scary looking face.
Look at that shit.
Wow. Yikes. Could you imagine facing off with that thing?
Yeah, it doesn't really say. The original fossil is housed in Morocco. They don't say. It was roaming the rivers of northern Africa. But look at that fucking thing.
That's a big jaw.
Else. They say it's more powerful than the T-Rex.
I was gonna say the shape of that jaw, the way it's got like that arch at the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he could like do some serious damage.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
Yeah, that's something else. I grabbed this story more or less for the pictures.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
So
is that the Field Museum in Chicago? I want to go there. I can get to Chicago real quick.
Let me see. Says Chicago Sun-Times.
Yes. We've been talking about going there.
You should look. If you are thinking about going there, right now might not be a bad time to go if you want to see that.
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
Because Sue the T-Rex is also there.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen Sue before.
I have not.
Yes, I've seen Sue.
I have not seen Sue. So, yeah, if you want to check that out, now might be a really good time to go. Might be a really, really good time to go. All right, our next story of the evening, Katie. We're gonna go with this one. I thought this one was cute. Not cute, but interesting. More or less. From Newsweek.com. Man's photos reveal abandoned pet cemetery in haunted Massachusetts woods. I'm not sure they can definitively say that these are haunted Massachusetts woods, but okay. Photographer has offered a glimpse inside a long abandoned pet cemetery located within an area of Massachusetts woodland that has its own dark history. Donald Pimentel took to social media to share snaps from a recent trip to the cemetery, which is located in the heart of Freetown Fall River State Forest. Pimentel, who has visited many abandoned places across the country, told Newsweek there was an especially eerie vibe to this graveyard, which closed its gates around 1989. Let's just look at the fucking pictures, Katie.
I'm still wondering why you called this cute.
It's cute. It's cute. It's cute. Isn't that cute?
Aww.
See? What did I tell you? See, you gave me shit for calling it cute, and the first thing you say when you see the picture is, aww.
Well, when I think of an old-ass pet cemetery, it sounds creepy, but that is really people who loved their pets.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the graves have, sunken in.
Right? I've just got my old dog on my freaking bookshelf in a box.
Yeah. I guess that's it. I guess that's all the pictures.
Aww.
But I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, oh.
That's sweet.
Pet cemetery.
Right?
Not just like the Stephen King
Yeah,
version.
somebody spent money on that one.
Yeah, somebody fucking...
That 20 years? Oh, wait, no. I suck at math. 15 years, right? Jesus.
Yeah, 15.
Just showed my stupidity.
That's funny. Oh, shit. So,
I did have a poodle that lived for 19 years when I was a kid, so it is a thing.
Yeah, I just thought it was a cool story. Pet Cemetery,
Yeah.
I'm a big Stephen King fan. I just finished reading the Doohickey there.
That would be cool to roll up in the woods on something like that, on like a hike one day, and then you're like, whoa, look at the pet cemetery.
Yeah, I'd check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
And why not? Our next story of the evening from Meritalk.com. That's Meritalk.com. Pentagon ramping up sensory capabilities for UFO detection. The Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, is ramping up its abilities to sense and track unidentified flying objects, otherwise referred to as unidentified anomalous phenomena, as part of its ongoing mandate to investigate the presence of those phenomena in the air, sea, space, or on land. Sean Kirkpatrick, director of the AARO at the Department of Defense, talked about his office's push to improve its UAP sensing and tracking capabilities on May 31st during a public meeting on unidentified anomalous phenomena hosted by NASA. Given what we've got so far, that is going to be an important first step to understanding which sensors are going to be relevant, Kirkpatrick said. From there, we are augmenting with dedicated sensors that we've purpose-built and designed to detect, track, and characterize those particular objects. We will keep putting those out in very select areas for surveillance purposes, he said. During his presentation, Kirkpatrick discussed the range of objects that his office is looking at, which may include anything from weather balloons to other peculiar objects such as metallic spherical orbs with odd flying patterns. This is a typical example of the things that we see most of. We see these all over the world, and we see these making very interesting apparent maneuvers, said Kirkpatrick. The importance of finding out more about UAPs and UFOs has become a more public priority captivated at the Defense Departments after a recent report found that the number of UAPs has been increasing over the course of the past few years. While NASA is evaluating unclassified data sources for its study, AARO's data set includes classified material focusing on national security areas, said Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick concluded his remarks with 8 recommendations for NASA and other agencies for their efforts to sense and track UFOs, UAPs, alongside the working being done by the AARO. And then there's a list of fucking shit that I'm not going to read. But yeah, they're ramping up.
Sounds like stuff they probably were already doing, I would think. But
they're ramping up, and my video is way behind my audio. When the fuck did that fucking happen? Now it's like super behind.
Yep, it is.
Holy fuck.
Yep. I didn't notice that until you were done talking. It'll catch up. You'll get there.
Will it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's driving me fucking batty because I'm direct connected.
Right.
To the fucking modem, which is literally right next to me.
Ugh.
Right next to me.
Wow. That's really frustrating. I feel ya.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always good. So, anyway.
Your audio's still good, though, so...
Yeah, my audio's still good, so we'll carry on.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back?
You're back.
Oh, well, look at that. I'm back from outer space, but I'll wind up getting behind again because I can already
shaky,
tell.
But
I can already tell I'm behind.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm behind already. It's probably because I got news stories up. Because the shit sucks.
It does.
Because they can't not stick 5 million fucking ads on a page.
Right.
Anyway, our fucking title story of the evening from the NewYorkPost.com, that's nypost.com. UFO spotted outside Harry and Meghan's mansion as NASA releases info. Boom, boom, boom. E.T. phoned the former royals. A flying saucer was allegedly spotted hovering near Harry and Meghan's $14 million mansion outside Los Angeles. A mysterious circular object was seen in the mountains overlooking Kakuma Lake in Santa Barbara County, about 25 miles from the couple's home. Unidentified flying object hunter Tony Moreno saw the disc-like object on Google Earth. The 8-meter wide circular object had strange writing on it and appeared to cast a shadow on the ground. The Mutual UFO Network lists 29 UFO unidentified submerged object sightings between November 2000 and December 2018 in Santa Barbara, according to The Independent. The recent sightings near the former Royals mansion came as NASA held its first ever public meeting on the mysterious aircraft. There's no real... They don't say what it was, but there are pictures, Katie.
Okay.
There are pictures. I guess you can...
I saw this headline, but I don't think I saw the pictures.
I guess you can see this on Google Earth, but I'm going to pop up the pictures so you guys can see this.
So did Harry and Meghan see the thing too?
I don't give a shit. I don't care what they can see. This is the said disc on Google Earth. There's your disc.
That's supposed to be in the air? It looks like it's on the ground.
Well, there is a shadow, though. See the shadow?
Yeah, I do. But I could...
So,
That's weird.
and that's it. That's all you get.
That's really weird.
I don't know what it is.
Where the fuck is Phil?
I told you, he is retired. Phil is no longer with us. He's retired.
Horse shit.
He's retired from the world of... excuse me tonight. He's retired from the world of debunking. No longer wants to do breakdowns. Has decided that people suck, and so does he. So tiki bar it is. These are just my opinions, so I mean, I can't, I can't verify that this is what Phil actually thinks. I'm just giving my own opinions. Just saying.
Wow.
He might be drinking a lot at his tiki bar. He might.
Sounds about right.
I mean, if I was him, I would be.
Me too.
He built the fucking thing. Why not?
I need to get me one of those.
If you build yourself a tiki bar and you don't drink at said tiki bar,
what are you doing with your life?
right? I mean, unless
you got one, you got to use it.
Unless you build the tiki bar and then you decide afterwards, I'm a raging alcoholic, I need help, and then go to AA.
I don't think the man who builds a tiki bar is going to...
And wait a minute, and then get clean and sober, then I could see you not drinking at said tiki bar. Then and only then.
I don't think that's the case here, Chris.
With Phil?
Yeah.
No.
It's definitely not.
No, Phil's definitely drinking at that fucking tiki bar. I can tell you that.
Oh, we got to redo our deck. There may be a bar of some sort worked in. Yeah. It'd be fun.
At one point in time, I had a bar in my house. It was a shitty bar. But it was cool having it because we had enough space to have it.
Right.
So we
It's
brought
a luxury.
So it was in the basement. We brought it upstairs, and it gave us a lot of storage space that we didn't have.
Extra shelving.
But it was, I don't know, it didn't work out. We wound up putting in just a little island later on. Yeah. But it was cool having it because you could sit at the bar and it was interesting.
We had a really neat bar in our basement growing up, and my mom decorated it like a 50s ice cream parlor. Yeah. It was super, super cool.
Yeah, ours was kind of shitty. So it was what it was. But anywho, since we are all done with the news, we will take our break. For those of you listening along, we will give you the sounds of night driving while we take our quick break, and then we will be back to give you the second half of the show, where we will go into the staircase case, as it is, the case of Kathleen Peterson, or the death of Kathleen Peterson. So we will leave you with the sounds of night driving until we get back. And when we return, the staircase. So, see you soon. We are back. Night driving.
I love this night driving.
I wish I could find it for you.
I wish I could find it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other ones called night driving, but it's
Right.
not that one.
Yeah. It's definitely a very chill.
It's perfect.
You know what you could do is go on to StreamYard, open a thing, and just turn it on.
Right.
And put it on the speakers.
That's true.
You could.
It could.
And it would just play.
Right.
Indefinitely.
I do have an account I'm logged into, so.
There you go. Just don't start a live stream.
Right. That would be bad.
Do like a recording. I'll be like, what are all these recordings of Katie?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. I'm pretty blonde. I'd probably do something really stupid.
Anywho, our main topic of the evening. So you had thrown me a story about something true crime related, I think. What was that? I'll look.
Natalie Holloway?
Oh yeah,
Vandersloot kid.
The Vandersloot kid is the one that they're sending back?
Yes, they're bringing him back to the U.S. to face fraud charges for trying to exploit money out of this poor family for information about their dead daughter that he's clearly guilty of killing. And he's busy serving time overseas for killing a different young woman. And now I think it was Italy. Yeah. I could have that wrong, but that country has finally said, sure, we'll hand him over to you guys and let you do your thing.
From CBS News, suspect in Natalie Holloway case to be transferred to the U.S. this week. Jordan Vandersloot, the prime suspect in the 2005 disappearance of American teenager Natalie Holloway in Aruba, will be handed over to U.S. authorities in Peru on June 8th. Peru's prison spokesperson confirmed to CBS News. Vandersloot, who is currently serving a 28-year prison sentence in Peru for the murder of 21-year-old Stephanie Flores, will be temporarily transferred to the U.S. to face fraud and extortion charges in relation to an alleged plot to sell false information about Holloway's whereabouts to her family. Holloway went missing in 2005 after leaving a nightclub in Aruba with Vandersloot, a Dutch national who resided there at the time. She was never found, and in 2012, an Alabama judge declared her legally dead.
So sad.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see him facing some shit, though. This kid.
So am I. That's, it's been a while.
A long while.
It's been a hot minute.
So sad. I couldn't imagine sending your teenage daughter on a exciting vacation and just never coming home.
Yeah.
So awful.
Shit. That's rough. Is there anything else that's like pressing true crime related?
No, not really.
No, we did the for those of you who didn't catch it, we did the Danny Masterson update video yesterday. He was found guilty on 2 counts out of the 3. One thing I didn't mention last night that I thought I would mention tonight about that briefly is it's a pretty big win. Understand, people, that they got the 2 convictions, because if they had only gotten 1, he would have served no time.
Right. It was a
regardless of the fact of whether or not he gets 15 years per charge. If there was only 1, he was not going to serve any time.
Right.
So he only served time if there were 2 charges.
It was a really weird technicality in the law with even getting these charges brought because of the statute of limitations. It made it really complicated.
Yeah, it was very, very odd. So,
which makes it that much bigger of a win if you think about it. Like all the legal hoops they had to jump through, and they still justice was still served.
Right. I'm gonna pop up something about this just so I can get some dates, possibly. Let's see. Kathleen Peterson. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so. All right. All right, so Kathleen Peterson, the death of the staircase documentary, Michael Peterson. However you want to look at this whole fucking thing, this big menagerie. I don't know how you look at it, Katie.
I don't either.
But anyway, she passed away on December 9th, 2001. Now, this case has been over for a while. The documentary's been out. It was actually released, I believe it was on HBO first.
Yeah, it was somewhere where it didn't get a lot of traction at first.
And then it was put back out on Netflix and episodes were added.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
I think in like 2013 is when it hit Netflix.
Yeah, I want to say it was later than that.
Maybe. I'm really bad with remembering numbers, so...
But 2013 was when I started doing the Fortean slip.
Netflix was around then, wasn't it?
It was, but I don't think the staircase was on it then.
That's true. I could be very wrong. Don't listen to me.
So, whoa! I just totally threw my camera sideways.
You sure did.
Jesus, let's fucking fix that shit. I want to fucking break down the fourth wall. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, right.
So, she was supposedly found at the bottom of the staircase. Jesus fucking Christ.
What are you doing?
I'm not doing anything. It's the cord. It keeps trying to straighten itself out and pulling. I hate the fucking cords for these goddamn webcams. They're the worst things ever. All right, there we go. Now I'm not gonna hit anything. No. All right. So, supposedly he finds her at the bottom of the staircase, bleeding, clinging on to life, I guess. When he called 911, he seemed very distressed when he called 911.
Yes.
I would say, to be honest.
That's right where a big split happens, though, because opinions are split on whether that 911 call is genuine,
or he was acting,
or he was acting, and there's different people feel differently about it.
I agree. I can see how someone would feel either way about it.
Yeah, most of the time, I feel like it very well could be genuine, but then sometimes I listen to it and I feel the opposite. So it's hard.
Well, so he finds his wife at the bottom of these stairs, and which is these stairs abut the kitchen. They're in a weird spot.
They're a completely enclosed hallway staircase that go down straight and steep, and then right at the bottom take a sharp turn into a room.
Right into the kitchen.
Yeah, and it's like a doorway.
Right, and it's the back of the kitchen, though.
Yeah.
It's in a weird spot.
It's a secondary staircase. It's like an old servant stairs in an old house.
Yeah, so he finds his wife there. Now, this is after they had been supposedly having a nice, quiet night in, having some drinks. They were celebrating, I do believe, because his book was supposed to be getting optioned.
Yes.
Michael Peterson was an author, and his book was being optioned for a movie. So they were celebrating. There were witnesses to the fact that they were drinking and celebrating and just kind of hang. They were going to sit down and watch. I think it was America's Sweethearts on
Yes.
TV. On the TV, they had rented that from like Blockbuster or some shit.
Yep.
Back when Blockbuster was a thing.
Yeah.
So.
But
Yeah.
then they moved out by the pool.
Right. Went out to the pool and had a few drinks out there, or had a drink out there or whatnot, sat out
You're
there.
drinking wine.
And she had decided to go in. There was some type of correspondence that she had back and forth with her boss or somebody from work. I'm not going to pop anything up on my computer because I seem to be having all kinds of fucking problems with it.
Right.
Which I'm going to look into, by the way. So I'm trying to do this all from memory.
Right.
So yeah,
She went in, and it's thought that she supposedly was going straight upstairs. But there's a lot of
there's a lot of speculation of whether or not she had already had her correspondence with whoever it was she was working with, or whether or not she went in to finish that correspondence or whatnot.
and then go to bed. Right.
Right. Now, there's all kinds of theories about what happened between her leaving the pool area, or whether or not one of the theories is that they weren't even out at the pool area.
Right.
But that she left the pool area and then she expired on the staircase in some manner between there and I can't remember all the times. Like I said, I'm not going to pop anything up. If anyone would like to look into this case, there is the Netflix documentary.
Yes.
There is 5 episodes of the Crime Weekly podcast, which I would also recommend you watch.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff that is not looked into in the documentary that is in that, which I think people should know about.
Well, and it's pretty well known. I think everybody knows that documentary is biased. It is meant it is from the perspective of the defendant, without a doubt. So, I mean, and everybody knows that, and you kind of feel it as you're watching it. You feel that pull a little bit where you're like, well, I mean, we're not hearing from this other side. We haven't in several episodes now. So,
well, do you know why?
Well, it started out.
The prosecution pulled away.
Right. Correct. It started out where it was like the first 2 episodes, you were getting both sides of it.
Yeah.
But then as the case kept progressing, not everybody was playing nice to the document, understandably so. It's a really unique
and then
documentary.
Didn't one of the producers in the documentary start dating Michael Peterson or something later on?
Yes.
So it gets fucking weird.
Right.
The whole thing gets fucked up. So
but
I completely understand the prosecution and their side backing out of that.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, it didn't give us that other side.
Right. It changed the course of where the documentary went.
Right.
But I don't feel like it's one of those documentaries where when I'm done watching it, I feel like I've been had. I feel like I knew as I was watching it, okay, I'm getting one side of the story.
I was not convinced that he was innocent by the end of that.
Well, me neither. But I also felt like, okay, I know I'm only getting one side of the story here from this piece of information. Like, I'm going to have to go somewhere else to maybe see the other side.
Right. Yeah.
But some other documentaries are tricky where by the end of it, you're like, wait a second.
Well, and I told you that after I got done with the Crime Weekly podcast, that I didn't feel like they were in any way convincing me that he was more guilty.
No.
If anything, they were convincing me that he was less guilty.
I know. It was weird. I had watched the Netflix documentary twice before I watched the Crime Weekly podcast. And that was the first time I had really sought out anything other than the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And it blew my mind. So I was actually really happy. Now I've watched the documentary 3 times, and watching it the third time after having the other side of it really made it a different watch.
Well, it's this was my second time watching the documentary. And it's a lot to fucking get through.
It is.
But it was my second time watching through the documentary. My first time watching through this Crime Weekly 5-episode extravaganza. But I will say that this time around I was more critical. I had not watched the Crime Weekly yet.
Right.
When I watched the documentary. I watched the documentary first. It was my second time. I was far more critical this time around. One of the things that struck me during the documentary was when his bisexuality comes up as a possible motive. Mm-hmm. That she somehow found all of his, or that she found his emails and his correspondences with men on his computer, and that she was upset about that, and that's why, you know, this all went down. He killed her so that it wouldn't come out or whatever. But when he was confronted about that, about his bisexuality, in the documentary, what?
Yeah.
Like, his response is fucking typical bullshit.
Yeah.
And then later on, when he's talking to David Rudolph, he's like, I've never lied to you. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's stuff that you kept from him. You know, you weren't a straight fucking shooter.
Right.
So I there was that, and then you come to the end of the documentary, and you know, he admits that his wife didn't know that he was bisexual, and that he wishes he could have had that conversation with her.
He didn't say she didn't know. He said we never talked about it.
We never talked about it, which to me is she didn't know.
Right.
She didn't, because
he was playing semantics to his favor.
Because if she knew, they would have talked about it.
Right.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that knows of infidelity, whether it's known or unknown, like as a quantity in the relationship, where it's not spoken about at all.
Right.
Like that's not happening.
In order for that to work, it has to be spoken about.
Right.
And I think the key detail that makes you know that she wouldn't have been okay with that is the fact that she divorced her first husband for cheating on her. So it's kind of like, but yeah, he kind of like tattled on himself. He was careful about it because I did re-listen to the words he spoke, and he didn't. He still danced around it, but less carefully than he did in the beginning of the documentary. That's what's so interesting. This spanned 12 years, 13 years.
He played fucking semantics.
Yes.
Is what he did.
Which, I mean, he's an author. He's a writer.
Yeah. Yeah, he used his words carefully. He played around. You know, listen, he admits to having sexual relationships with men while he was with Kathleen.
Yep.
Now, if they never spoke about it, then in my opinion, she didn't know. Because I
Right.
don't think that she knew about him having sexual relationships with men, and she didn't have a discussion with him about it.
I think if we are to believe that some of the anecdotes that he's given about jokes she's made, because he used to say that, oh, she used to make jokes about hot men in front of me, about implying that I really liked them. If we're
Mm-hmm.
to believe that's true,
Right?
okay, maybe it is this underlying thing where she did sense this flamboyance from him and maybe suspected it was an underlying thing, but they in their marriage never brought that to be a real thing.
I mean,
It still seems possible that sure, maybe he thought, oh
it's
yeah,
possible. It's very, very possible, but I doubt it.
I agree.
If I'm looking at it statistically speaking, like if odds wise, I'm putting my money on she didn't know.
The only thing that makes me think that deep into it though is the family, children acknowledging, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we all joked about dad being bi.
Yeah, and hey, the kids all stuck behind him or stood behind him,
Except for one.
except for
Except for one.
Caitlin, who turned
And yeah, and
uh,
she supported it first, but
at
then
first, yeah, and
yep.
then she turned, and now Todd is against him, I
Yeah, so
guess.
yeah. So what
Todd,
would
but
you think about Todd?
the video,
Yeah.
um,
His rant
I think he's
about
I think he's a little manic, in my
okay,
opinion.
but even given just because somebody's manic doesn't mean that they're not showing something.
I think that it's very possible that there is some underlying truth to what Todd's saying.
But he's
But I think that Todd is lashing out at his father for stuff I don't really understand. It seems kind of stupid. The stuff that he's lashing out for, and I don't necessarily think that Michael Peterson killed Patty.
no.
You know,
I don't think he killed Patty. I don't.
she was very supportive of him through the whole trial. She always said that he was not a person that could do this.
Right.
Now listen. I'm going to state for the record right now that I don't think that Michael Peterson is a I don't want to say good person, but he's not a quote unquote good person. And what I mean by that is he likes to fucking lie a lot. I tend to think he likes to lie a lot.
He's a
But that
storyteller.
doesn't make him a fucking killer.
No.
That's my big take on this. Um but I would leave it up to each and every individual to sit down, watch these different things, listen to the podcast, watch the documentaries. I'm sure there are other podcasts out there that have delved
Oh,
into the staircase.
tons. Lots.
So look into it, and come to your own conclusion ultimately, because this is a very intricate case.
Mm-hmm.
There is
And there's a lot
there's
of
so many
information.
ways that it could have gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is it possible that she went in, she was drinking, she was on some medications? Is it possible that she went to go up the stairs, fell, hit her head a few times, fell down, there was bleeding, and then she slipped in her blood when she woke up, fell again, hit her head a few more times? It's possible. It's possible.
Well, and
Is it?
there's the owl theory
Hold on,
too.
I'm getting there. I'm
Okay.
getting there. You put the cart before the horse.
Damn it, sorry.
So then there is the intruder theory that somebody broke into the house, but that one's not very plausible. I don't buy into that.
No, it's not a good one.
There's the idea that, Michael killed her because she found out that he was bisexual, and they're saying it was for money. The prosecution says it was for money, but I don't buy that.
I don't either. They were fine.
If anything, I think it was for that this was going to cause a problem. Mm-hmm. And they seem to think that he beat her with a blowpoke. I don't think so.
No, that didn't happen.
I think that if anything, he beat her head on the stairs.
Yeah, that's more plausible than the blowpoke.
For sure. Yeah. But again, there's no fracturing to her skull, no brain injuries, which most all attacks where there's attacks, blunt force trauma to the head like that, there is fractures and brain injury.
Right.
More often than not. So I don't understand why there wasn't, if in fact these things happened. Now, again, there is the last theory. The idea that she was attacked by an owl. And I'm not going to lie, after watching the Crime Weekly podcast, this one seems a lot more plausible to me. I did not know about the feather.
Feathers. Plural.
I did not know that there were micro feathers in her hand that, along with her hair, that can, and those micro feathers can only come from owls.
Barred owl. Yeah.
And the lacerations on the back of her head are identical. They're like 3-pronged, and they're pretty much identical with what an owl would do.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that it was definitely an owl attack, but what I am saying is that is superiorly more plausible than anything else I've fucking heard in this case.
Yeah.
The feathers alone make me go, how the fuck did he get convicted?
Right.
How did he get convicted? There were feathers and a twig
in her hair. Her hair had feathers and her hand had feathers.
And pine needles. Like, I'm like, okay, so, and I guess there's a guy that lives locally by them who says that this is totally plausible. They had these things living in their barn, there's
attacks. They happen. Like, that's not a thing that doesn't happen.
It's not an uncommon thing.
Right.
Now, they don't think that the owl came in the house to attack her. The theory is that she went out to get the reindeer because now she was upset. She had to do this stuff for work, which is why we were discussing whether or not she had gone in for this work call or whatever that night, because her and Michael were supposed to put out the Christmas decorations
the next day.
And she was not going to have the time to do that. So she was very upset about that.
Yeah,
so
she was pissed.
Right. So there's a thought that she went out to the barn and grabbed the reindeer because they were put out.
Yeah.
But yet they said that they hadn't put out any Christmas decorations yet. Excuse me, Jesus.
It's usually a big project they do together, and it's a whole thing.
Right. So the thought is that before she went into the house, she decided to go out, grab these reindeer, bring them out, and that the owl attacked her then.
Yeah.
Came out and attacked her then. I would assume, this guy says because of imprinting on the fucking reindeer, but I don't think it was that.
That was stupid.
I think it was territorial.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Right. I think that was stupid.
But the
I think
door,
if anything, it was territorial.
the door
Go
was
ahead.
ajar, and there was blood on the door.
Well, that's the thing. I think she was attacked outside by the bird. I think she fought off the bird outside. It flew away. She went inside. She grabbed the door, got blood on the door, went to the stairway. I think she fell down in the stairway. And then that's what caused, like, the initial mess in the stairway. And then I don't know if she passed out or whatever.
She
got
laid there
up,
and bled.
Got up, slipped in her own fucking blood, fell down again, smacked herself around some more,
Wallered.
made it worse.
And she was bleeding from her mouth.
Yeah. So I don't know. That one seems extremely plausible because of the feathers.
Yeah.
Like, the feathers are the thing that throws the big fucking wrench in the whole thing for me.
Right. 'Cause where else did they come from?
Why would she have these micro feathers that only come from owls in her hair, in her hands? Why? I don't understand it.
It's weird.
You know, and, you know, to go back to Michael Peterson, did Michael Peterson do it? Now, there is, in the original trial, there was brought up that he was also present at the death of another woman who fell down a staircase. Maybe not present when it happened, but he was local, friends with the lady, and now he is the father of her children. He adopted her two girls. What are their names? Margaret and... I don't know what the other one is. Shit. Like I said, I don't want to pop up anything because it'll fuck up my internet.
I'm so bad at remembering. I can picture them both, but I can't remember their names.
But anyway, so this was brought up in the first trial, and they actually went and exhumed this woman's body to try to, figure out if, her death was mysterious instead of natural, which they had assumed. There's all kinds of shit.
That scenario was different too. It wasn't even a full staircase that she fell down. It was like a split level where there was like a quarter of a staircase with like 4 or 5 stairs.
Right.
And she was at the bottom of it, but it didn't even look like she had fallen down the stairs. It looks like she had just had like a medical emergency in that vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really even like thought the party line prior to this wasn't that she fell down the stairs. It was that she like had a medical emergency, and
right.
I think it wasn't an aneurysm. It was
I heard it was an aneurysm.
Was it?
I thought it was an aneurysm.
Okay. Could remember that, or it was
thought.
like a heart blockage or something.
I think in the documentary they say one thing, and then in the Crime Weekly they say another thing. There's a couple of things that are wishy-washy between the two. I'm going to be honest.
Well, but that's what's hard, because the documentary can be so misleading. A lot of the footage was really casual conversation.
Yeah.
Where they spout a lot of facts, but it's really just them around their kitchen table talking, so it's hard.
There needs to be more of a fact. I mean, and I guess the Crime Weekly thing did go over the factual stuff.
Well, and there really was another medical examination, so I'm sure that is a factoid, and I just don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, there was with her body. I can't remember what her name was. Was it Ratcliffe?
Ratcliffe? Yeah.
I don't fucking remember. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm not going to try to pop up a page, people. It's been a rough night.
I'm so bad with names.
Yeah. But again, you guys can go back and watch these things. There's a whole documentary and
It's a mind
podcast
fuck.
about this, and it's a good one too. To be honest
Yeah.
with you, it's a fun one. I played it for my son. So when we decided to go back and watch this fucking thing, and to go back and look at the staircase, I sat down with my son and put on the first couple of episodes of the staircase, and I was like, dude, you have to see this guy's reaction
Right.
when they
Right.
when they ask him a certain question, and I'm not going to tell you what the question is. I'm just going to tell you to wait for it.
Right.
And when he goes, what? My fucking son laughed his ass off.
It is so over the top and so like obviously like, dude, you knew that question was coming, and
Yeah.
how could you not?
Yes, definitely. Now, again, do I think that Michael Peterson told some fucking lies? Yeah, he tried to delete his shit off of his computer. He tried to wipe his hard drive with a fucking
Yeah.
program. Which, I mean, hey, if I'm being totally honest, he's got this, bisexuality. He's been talking to men. He's been having sex with men, etc., etc. If I was in that same situation and I didn't kill my wife, but there's all this stuff, I'd be like, oof. I don't know what I'd do in that situation, to be honest. But he deletes all this stuff, and then he lies about it to his fucking attorney, which that's the part of it that gets me.
Right.
Okay? Here's the guy that's supposed to defend you. His job is only to defend you. You can tell him that you murdered your fucking wife, and he can't say a word. You have like fucking dude priest like relationship.
Yeah.
With this, this is like confessional type shit. You can tell him anything. He can't.
And you should tell him everything.
A word. So why he didn't tell him that he was bisexual and that she didn't know, I think that in and of itself makes me believe, that was one of the things that made me believe that maybe he had done it. But in retrospect, after watching all of this stuff and seeing all the different things, now I'm more in the camp of, I think he's just a piece of shit. And in and of that, I think he just didn't tell his wife, and he's lying, and all of that. But I don't think he killed her. I don't think there's enough evidence there to show that he killed her. There's not enough there to make me go, yeah, he definitely did it. But when I look at that fucking owl theory, and I look at the facts, I'm like, maybe she seriously got attacked by an owl, and then just this is all just a natural thing. And this piece of shit dude got really fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think this time around for me, all my rewatches, it broke me. My brain too deep. Because I even thought about that reaction was so ridiculous. When you watch it after going so deep on the whole thing, you're like, am I supposed to believe this? That this was a real interaction between you and your lawyer? And that makes me think of attorney-client privilege. Like you said, that's a powerful thing. What good lawyer presents this information to his client for the very first time on camera for a documentary.
Right.
That's not a real conversation. I don't buy it. Now.
Right. Well, that's the
Now
other
that
thing.
I've seen it, I don't buy it. That wasn't real.
So, yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know. But here's the thing. I don't think that his attorney initially knew. Because here's why I say that. I say that, Katie. Why would the attorney spend money having the private investigator look into that if he already knew?
Right. True.
That's my question.
Yeah. Valid question.
So I don't think that was so much a setup. I think it was.
It had to
but
have been.
But I think this is what I think happened. I think that they found out. They talked to Michael. Mm-hmm. And then they turned around in front of the cameras and did this whole thing.
Right.
So that he could kind of like do his little save face kind of thing that he thought he was going to do.
Correct. They had to get their stories together.
But didn't work.
Right. And it didn't come off well.
No, it did not come off well. But if you ask me, I think that initially he did not tell his attorney, and that to me is suspect.
Yeah.
Why did you not tell your attorney that you like to have sex with men and that you have during your fucking marriage? Why?
It's a big bullet point when you're weighing
pertinent. It's pertinent fucking information when your wife is dead and you're on trial for murder.
Yeah. It's the best time to be honest about all your bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. All your dirty secrets.
I try to relate to that too. If God forbid some crazy accident happened, I know whatever you want about me.
Yeah.
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 All of my sinful glory. You can have it all. I'm not holding that back. Now, I don't have any. I'm not bisexual. I don't have that demon. So I guess that's not a fair apples to apples. But
listen, I don't care if I wake up tomorrow and it seems natural and she's dead in the bed next to me. I'm calling an attorney.
Right. Yeah. As you should. I mean,
we got to talk.
Maybe call 911 first and then the attorney. But
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I have not mentally come to a decision anymore. I used to lean one way or the other.
With the Michael Peterson case?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I no longer do. The only thing I am certain of is that he didn't get a fair trial and he shouldn't have been convicted in the first place.
Yeah, the whole fucking Deaver.
Yes.
Deaver?
Yep.
The Deaver. Blood expert guy that they wound up having to throw out his testimony. And it's the reason why Michael Peterson was able to take an Alford plea.
Right.
Is because of this Deaver guy. And his experiments, his blood analysis was just a bag of horse shit.
He's had a lot of his convictions overturned, and honestly, he should have been prosecuted for his shit.
He actually got his job back, I believe.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think if I'm remembering correctly, in the Crime Weekly thing, they say that eventually he sued about certain things and got his job back.
Well, I remember it was quite the legal battle, but either way, not only him, in general, the whole case was not handled well. The investigation was not handled well.
No.
And so it's impossible to be certain about anything.
And there were questions of whether or not the police were lashing out against Michael Peterson because of things he had written in a column years ago about the Durham Police Department?
Yeah, well, and not even the police department. It was really more like the city council. It was a local government.
Well,
he was really hard on him.
Stephanie had brought that up in the Crime Weekly that it was more the city council people, not necessarily the police. But there's a thought that because of that, they were harder on him.
Right.
I don't know if that's the case. What I do know is that everybody said that they were happy. And the people who saw them right before this happened, they were joking around.
Mm-hmm.
They were having fun. The guy who spoke to them on the phone that night said, I think it was a guy that spoke to them, said that they were joking around. Hey, is the old man there?
Right.
But whatever. I think he lied to his wife and or omitted his bisexuality. I think he omitted and or lied about it. I don't think she knew.
Me neither.
Or I think she knew he was bisexual, but she was right. She was under the impression that he wasn't acting on it.
Right. That's possible.
I think that there's that. I don't think that he murdered his wife. Based on the evidence that I've seen, if he would have beaten his wife, I think there would have been more than just what was there.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
There's no fractures, no brain injury. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
The only other thing that stands out to me that makes me stand in the middle is he did grab some paper towels.
Yeah, he did try to clean up.
But when you're in shock in the moment of some crazy thing happening like that, people do weird shit, man. He took his shoes off too. That was also really weird. He took his shoes off. He clearly had them on and then took them off.
And then there's the footprint on her leg.
He clearly wasn't honest about everything that happened.
I don't know.
I know. I cannot.
I bounce back and forth with it, but ultimately I settle on, based on the evidence that I've seen, I don't think he did it. I don't think
there's enough evidence that he should have sat in prison. That's what I can say.
No, he shouldn't have sat in prison. He definitely should not have been convicted.
No.
I think he got convicted based on, and I'm gonna on his sexuality.
Yeah.
I think he got convicted based on his sexuality in the first trial. I think they thought that his infidelity was a huge issue. They say it was the blood evidence from Deaver, but I call fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that prosecutor was so dancing a jig, fucking happy about the bisexuality.
Yeah.
And the implications in the trial. Like, she was like, nobody's gonna believe,
Yeah, she was ridiculous. It was cringy to watch.
Yeah,
all these years later.
She's fun to watch.
It hasn't aged well.
I think she's a character. She's a beloved character in this little melodrama.
She sure is.
You should enjoy that Southern bitch.
Well, I think she's dead now. So
she is.
Yeah.
God rest her soul.
Indeed.
But anyway. I think that that's what happened. I think that they realized that they didn't have, without Deaver, without the blood evidence stuff, without, because the judge said that he wouldn't have allowed the bisexual stuff in the second time around.
Right.
I think that the prosecution realized they didn't have shit.
Yeah.
And that's why they gave him the Alford plea. Now, I think in a lot of these cases, when it comes to an Alford plea, I think it's a huge fucking cop-out by the state.
Always.
It's not something that makes me happy when I see it happen.
No.
Especially if the person is innocent. Like, you got the West Memphis 3, who were obviously fucking innocent.
Right.
And who were basically forced to take a fucking Alford plea.
And that means they can't civilly sue.
Yeah. And that's another one. I would love to get into that someday, but not today and not tomorrow and not next month because we're taking a break from doing this type of shit for a little while.
Yeah. I'm going to take smaller bites now.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah.
At least for a little bit. But at some point in time, I would like to delve into the West Memphis 3. You and I both have access to Max.
Yep.
We can watch all of the Paradise... Is it Paradise Lost? I think is the series on HBO about the West Memphis 3.
Yeah.
And then your people, Crime Weekly, who you've made me start watching, have also done the West Memphis 3. No, don't say you're welcome to me when I have to spend my entire day watching something on 1.75 speed.
Well, you don't have to do that. I mean,
oh, I do. No, I do. In order to get through it, I do. So yeah, I would like to delve into the West Memphis 3 one because that's another one where I think that they got fucked on their Alford plea.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have just been fucking released from prison, and I think whoever committed that crime is still out there.
Oh, 100%. And we'll never know.
Yeah,
We'll never know.
There's some good ideas as to who it was, but I still think that it's sad that they went after these 3 boys over fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Crime Weekly did a good job on that one. I really enjoyed going through that one with how deep they went.
Yeah.
Good discussions. It's a mindfuck. It's so sad. It's horrific, really, that could happen.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, if in fact Michael Peterson is innocent, you know, let's take away what we think about whether or not he should have even served time or not. You know, if Michael Peterson is innocent, taking this Alford plea is a fucking kick in the nuts. Now, mind you, he has always maintained his fucking innocence. And he fought... That motherfucker, I got to admit, he fought hard to not say that he was guilty in that hearing.
He wanted to make it clear, the definition of this Alford plea.
Mm-hmm.
That he's not pleading guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I get, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel less sad about the Alford plea for Michael Peterson than I do for the West Memphis because he's an old man. And at this point, it really is an intelligent decision. Why take the gamble when I could just be guaranteed to sail on?
And he's pretty well broke.
Right.
He's got nothing.
And he did write a book and sell it about this and not make any money off of it, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, I don't know what to tell people about this one.
I know.
When it comes to this one, I say watch it and come to your own conclusions. Maybe you'll think he did it. Maybe you'll think he didn't do it. I'm still like in the middle somewhere, but more leaning towards he didn't do it.
I don't he didn't do it.
I don't think that they proved that he did it. I don't think that the facts show that he did it. And I think that, and I gotta say, like the feathers are what do it for me.
Yep. Feathers muddy things.
The feathers make me go, what the fuck?
Well, and they didn't do enough with the feathers.
Did he beat her with an owl?
Do they make pillows with owl feathers in them?
Right. I don't. This is the only, like, I don't know. I'm trying to like figure this out in my fucking head, and no conclusions I come to make sense. Like, she's got her hair in her hands, her own hair, and she's got feathers. and she's got feathers in her hair, and these feathers only come from owls.
Yeah.
I don't know, but at the same time, and I will say this, at the same time, I'm not saying that the owl theory is for sure a thing.
No.
But I
But it's
will
plausible.
say that it seems like the most possible thing. And with those items there, with those factual things, I don't think it makes any sense. Anything else doesn't make any sense.
No, it really doesn't.
But
But why
we
was
don't-
he so weird about everything? That's the kicker, is he was just so weird about everything.
He's a weird dude.
I don't know. I've officially added that one to my Gates of Heaven list.
Gates of
But-
Heaven list.
When I get to heaven and I meet God, I got a list of fucking questions that I need
Jean
answers
Benet
to.
Ramsey.
Jean Benet Ramsey is number 1 on that list. And Michael Peterson has worked his way. I don't know his priority yet.
Jean Benet Ramsey.
I need to know. I need to know the truth.
Yeah. Missy Beavers.
Yep. That's for sure on the list. I don't
Missy
know. I still
Beavers
think
is
we could
mine.
get an answer on that one in our lifetime.
Missy Beavers is mine. I want to know who the fuck was in that SWAT getup.
Missy Beavers will be solved. I'm putting it out into the universe.
I want to know who the fuck did that.
That is a solvable case, Chris.
I don't, and listen, I don't know who Missy Beavers was. Missy Beavers could have been a cunt rag.
Right.
I don't know.
But she didn't deserve to die.
But nobody deserves that shit.
No.
Nobody deserves to be ambushed when they're fucking, putting on what was
Church
it?
yoga.
Yeah, in the morning. Like, that whole thing was just watching
bad
that.
one.
And we've watched that video on the show before. I'm not going to pop it up again, but we've watched that video before on here, and it is just disturbing.
It is haunting.
Disturbing. I have watched horror movies upon horror movies upon horror movies. I read horror fiction a lot. Okay? That video of that person in SWAT gear just walking around that church, testing doors, nonchalantly walking into rooms, is the most fucked up, terrifying thing. Knowing that person, whoever it is, male or female, because we don't know, killed Missy Beavers.
I still think there's a chance we're going to get an answer on that one.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
Feel it on that one. It happened in modern times enough. Cops aren't stupid. They do keep enough close to the belt.
Yeah, I listen, Katie, I hope you're right, because that one, that was the first thing that I saw in true crime when I really started getting into this stuff and delving into cases where I went, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's a lesser known one too. It's not like a mainstream. If you're not into true crime, you probably haven't heard of it. I mean, unless you're from Texas. I mean.
Right.
But
yeah, it's weird.
It is a bad one. I have hope for that case though, but it is a very chilling one. That footage is, it's really eerie.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the fact that everybody, literally bar none, and even her sisters, said that they had a great relationship?
Missy Beavers?
No, not Missy Beavers. I'm going back to Michael Peterson. Sorry.
Yeah. That's what makes it hard, and that's why I asked you what you've thought about his son. Okay, because
you mean Todd?
Yes.
Okay.
Todd, that video of him going on his rant, talking about needing to call the cops on his dad, and his dad's a serial killer. He's officially turned. And this is like modern. This was only a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle so hard with that video because, first of all, I find him wildly attractive, and it really muddies the water when I'm watching him.
He does kind of look like Joe.
He's really wildly attractive, and it's distracting, and so I can't really listen to what he's saying. So I have trouble making sense of what this means for the big picture. It's blurry for me, and because it's big information. If you really look at everything, he was die-hard support for his dad.
Both of the brothers were.
Right. But he's also an unreliable source because he's got his whole own set of fucked up shit going on in his life that have nothing to do with his father.
Yeah, he's had drug issues. He's yeah. You asked me what I thought. I think that the video comes off as manic.
Yes.
I think that there may be some truth to it. But I don't hold a lot of faith in it.
Right.
I think that Todd is lashing out for some reason. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Because he was always very supportive of his dad. Clayton's always been supportive of his dad. The girls have always been supportive, except for Caitlin, who was Kathleen's daughter. But the girls that he adopted have always been supportive of him through this whole thing. So that video doesn't give me as much pause when it comes to Michael Peterson's guilt and Kathleen's death.
Yeah.
You know,
it says more about him than it does about Michael.
Right. I think he's going through some shit.
Well, and I look at it and I tell myself he's not a reliable source anymore. He's just not. So.
Yeah. That didn't help my green screen at all. Turning that on.
No,
Jesus
it made
Christ.
it worse,
Well,
actually.
No. Wait a minute. No.
Just don't move.
Thing. I hate this thing.
I got a blurry shoulder. It's okay.
Yeah, it's the worst. Like I gotta get it. I gotta get the lighting right in here.
I know. I feel like I need. Oh, it's my shadow. The light has changed since we started.
Yeah, it's the light from you on your green screen. Yeah,
I only have one light source. So.
But yeah, I think it was just. I think it's a manic thing that he's going through. I don't think it weighs too much on Michael Peterson's guilt. Sorry, my hat's all. It
discredits some of his past certainty when he asserts that he knows his father didn't kill Kathleen. He felt passionately about that. So
yeah.
What made him? Sure, maybe he's manic. I get that, but still, there's truth in people's mania often.
And he says that his father tried to break his sobriety.
Right, which is, I don't necessarily believe that because perception is reality, and he clearly is not 100% on the same reality plane that we all are.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I completely agree with you.
That's tricky. Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time interpreting him.
I agree. But I don't think that it lays a lot of credence in the direction that Michael Peterson is guilty of Kathleen's death.
Right.
And or Patty's for that fucking matter.
I've never thought he was guilty of Patty's murder. And neither has the daughters of Patty. Oh, well, no. That's the wrong one. Yeah.
Patty's the boy's mother, the one that just died.
The ex-wife that was very supportive, yes. I've never thought he was guilty of either of those things.
Yeah, I don't think
either of them.
I didn't think so either. I that's why I just
he's got shit luck, huh?
Yeah, shit luck this guy. Shit luck this Michael Peterson guy.
Yeah.
He's fucking him and his pipe. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Michael Peterson.
Pipe and his
Jesus
classical
Christ.
music.
Yeah, he loves his classical music.
Yeah.
He likes his classical music. I'm trying to think if there's anything we missed. I'm sure there is.
There's so much.
I'm sure there's
I highly recommend a deep dive. If you got some time to commit, I would do it.
if this is a case that that interests you in any way, watch the Netflix documentary. For all of its faults, it's good. But do it with an open mind.
Yeah.
Don't do it with the idea that Michael Peterson's a good guy.
Right.
That just
Look at it different.
That just got a bad shake. Yeah, see, because I don't see it that way.
Yeah. Even if you've
and
watched
a lot
it
of people
before,
don't.
you've watched it 5-6 years ago. Give it another watch. Give it a different perspective.
And the Crime Weekly thing that Katie had me watch is also well worth diving into. I'm sure there's some other really good ones. Has Serial done this one?
I don't know. I actually don't follow that one.
I know that I didn't think that was one of the ones that you followed, but there's a bunch of other true crime podcasts out there that I'm sure have done deep dives on this, on the staircase. Look into it. See what you think. See what you think of Michael Peterson. And did he kill his wife? Did he not kill his wife? Was it an owl? Eileen Owl at this point. I'm not going to lie to you people. Eileen Owl. I'm not saying it's owl. Eileen Owl. That's what I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But
I have nothing insightful. I lean nowhere.
you just kind of stuck in the middle still?
I used to lean towards his innocence, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And I don't lean towards his guilt at all.
Right.
But I don't look at it as much like, oh my God, but he's such a nice guy.
I don't look at him like a nice guy.
No.
No, I look at him. See, here's how I look at it. I look at him like a guy who deceived his wife.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And whether or not she knew, I don't think that's up for debate based on what I've seen.
Right.
So I don't think she knew. I don't necessarily think she found out that night and he thought he had to kill her.
No.
He doesn't strike me as the type of guy to do that.
No. If he did kill her, I don't think that's how it happened, but I don't know how it happened, so I don't know.
Yeah.
My mind is officially mush on it. There's no facts to grab onto. We'll never know.
Well,
we'll never know.
Then, Katie, there's the idea that he's a spook.
A what?
A spook? CIA spook? Like that he's like a fucking operative? That he's been in the... Why was he in Germany?
Okay, but what does that have to do with Kathleen falling down the stairs?
Well, there's like speculation that he was involved in things that he shouldn't have been or whatnot, and that maybe this was, that maybe there was some nefarious shit going on. I don't believe you didn't know about this. I'm pretty sure I heard about it in either the documentary or in the Crime Weekly.
I guess I didn't take it seriously because to me, if that were true, then we never would have gotten to this fucking point.
Well, not necessarily. Not if that stuff all is fucking under wraps.
If it were under wraps, he wouldn't, and he had a legitimate reason to be involved.
No. I mean, the stuff that he was involved in. If he was like a CIA, if he was in the CIA or something of that nature,
right?
And that's all like being covered up because that's not anything that's been made public. Is what I'm saying.
Obviously, that kind of stuff doesn't get made public.
Right. So my thing is, and the theory is that has something to do with everything.
The CIA would have not let it get to this point of such a debate, I think.
Am I talking to the same person that like seriously thinks the government is like out to get like everybody? Is this the same Katie?
That just seems so much less rational to
Do we
me.
do we not know about the Hunter Biden laptop story?
Uh, so
I mean,
I get that, but
the CIA and the FBI are the most fucking dishonest fucking organizations on the planet.
and I don't disagree with that. I just I don't know that I don't buy that because I also don't think he really wasn't that smart. Let's be real. He was
How do we know?
a C student.
How do we know?
Kathleen used to make fun of him for not being very smart.
Yeah, but maybe that was all just a put on. You don't know.
See, I don't know. I don't know anything, Chris. I don't know anything.
Don't know.
I got nothing to tell you. I don't buy a single word of any of it
I'm
anymore.
baffled. Katie, we've had so many discussions before, and like
Okay, but that's
to hear you say that the CIA wouldn't let that get that far, and I'm like, are you fucking
Well, but-
kidding me?
If he really was, they look out for their own. There's that. I mean,
But they also are more than willing to let
dump on each
somebody
other.
to let somebody hang
Right.
if they can't help them.
Yeah, but okay, the intruder theory isn't even high on the list.
I don't listen. I just brought it up because it's out there.
I'm not
even
flew right by me.
I'm not even fucking saying that the CIA angle is a legitimate angle. I'm just saying that is an angle that's out there. There is all this speculation. Why was there all this? Why was he in Germany? At the time, there was there was no. I can't remember what all the stuff was. I wish I could have popped something up tonight.
He had some false story that he told people where he had a purple heart, and he didn't.
Yeah, that's also something. He lied about that.
Like
stolen valor bullshit.
I don't know, Chris.
I know.
I don't know anything. We're never going to know the answers to this case. That's why I said it's on my Gates of Heaven list, because I have no hope. Nothing's going to change. The case is done. We don't have any answers.
It might have been an owl. Maybe. I don't know.
I do think it might have been an owl, but we don't know. We'll never know. That's where I'm at, is like, oh, well, can't solve this one.
I don't know anymore. I give up.
I do too.
I give up. They beat me down.
Yep.
David Rudolph, I'm with you. I can't do this anymore.
The poor guy. I did like David Rudolph.
I got to admit, the defense attorney, David Rudolph, great guy. Seemed like I would want him defending me. I would want him defending me. Yeah.
Stand-up guy.
Yeah. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, go out, check out the Staircase documentary. Check out the Crime Weekly breakdown of the Kathleen Peterson case. Stephanie Harlow, Derek Levasseur. It's very well done. That's where we got all of our information for tonight, was from those two things. And that can that'll really flesh it out for you. Like I said before, I'm sure there's other avenues for you to get this information. Look into them. Look into them.
Yeah, then come back.
It can't hurt.
Comment. Let us know what you think.
Let us know what you fucking think about it.
Solve it.
I would like to. Yeah, I'd like to know what other people think about this, because I am more leaning towards the owl, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, owl, don't know. That's where I'm at. Owl, don't know. So, we will be back next week, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with another episode of this horse shit. We won't have a deep dive next week. Next week will be nice and easy. We'll get back into some just some regular true crime cult stories for the second half of the hour. and maybe dig a little deeper on the first half of the hour. So, the first hour. As always, folks, go over and give Fred some love on his YouTube page. YouTube.com/DreadFun. That's YouTube.com/DREDFUNN. Go over and give Fred some love. Thumb up his fucking videos. Give the man some. Say hi. Fucking give him some well wishes. Go over to the Facebook page. Like the Facebook page. Facebook.com/The Fortean Files. That's Facebook.com/TheForteanFiles. And if you're listening to this on as a podcast, you can watch us live on YouTube at youtube.com/@The Fortean Files. That's youtube.com/the @ symbol TheForteanFiles. And you can, if you don't like lovely Facebook, which I really don't, I'd like to fucking just stop using it altogether. You can go over to the Twitter page and like the Twitter or follow the Twitter page at Fortean Files. So that's at capital FORTEAN, capital FILES. And like I said, we will be back next Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with another episode to tickle you in places that might make you happy, or it might not.
Might make you uncomfortable.
It might irritate you. I don't know. But come, join us. Find out where our hands go. Find out. Katie's like, mine are right here.
Right here.
Chris.
Yes.
See you next week, folks.